So what we're going to do today is just carry on from yesterday, introducing you to the statistics and the analysis of data. And there's that term there, that first term, I just want to explain what that means, like the parameter and statistics. And what statistics is all about is that there's a population out there. And let's say it's a population of all the students who are meant to be in this class, who are enrolled in this class, which is a lot more than the people who have turned up in this lecture. So I don't know, let's say there's 500 people in the class, and there's about, 100 of you who are good and keen who are here. So the population's 500, and if I wanted to know, say, the average age average age of the people in this class, well, that's the population. And so the average age is what I would call a parameter. So that it's like what I call the truth. There is this population, it's got 500 people in it. There's one average age for everybody in the population, whatever that is, say 22 or something, and that's the parameter. Now, because I can't go and ask every single person what their ages are, because a lot of them aren't here in this room, I can treat you as a sample, so you're like a subset of the population, and ask the sample what is your age, and work out the average age, and that's called a statistic. So that we use the statistic, which is the measure from the sample, to estimate what the population parameter is. So it's a bit technical, but that's what the difference between a parameter and a statistic is. It's just this, and it's just getting you to think about this idea of, well, welcome to the class. It's getting you used to the idea of thinking of the population, which is everything you could possibly want to measure, and it's really hard to get to everything you want to measure. So you just take a subset and use the information from that subset to make some statement about what you think the true population parameter is. So the average age, hey, I don't know, because I don't have everybody in the class, but I can ask you guys, and you can tell me what your average age is, and then I can say, well, that's a pretty good estimate of what the true average age of the whole population. So population have parameters, and samples have statistics. So that's that notation there. And then we're going to talk today about some of the summary statistics, which are some of the measures we use of the sample to describe the sample. It's like a measure of the sample. I'm just going to close the door to make so when people do come in late, they feel really bad about coming in late. And then I'm going to talk about using Excel for histograms. Now, Excel is fantastic for doing graphs. I do all my graphs in Excel, except for histograms. For some reason, Excel is a little bit dicky. You've got to sort of do an extra level on it. I'm going to talk about how to describe a sample. So we talked yesterday a bit about the different types of data. You know, we have that ordinal, nominal, and I said, okay, the most important thing is the difference between categorical data, things which are categories like eye colour or your opinions or ratings of a course, excellent, okay, really boring, those sorts of things, and measurements, where it's like you've got a tape measure, you're measuring something. So they're really kind of quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative is things where you can measure, like age, because you can measure your age, and qualitative are things which are like that categories. What's your opinion of this course? What's your favourite sport? What did you have for breakfast? What eye colour do you have? Those sorts of measurements. So with the quantitative measurements, then if I take a sample, like, you are my sample, I go and measure you, I want to describe the sample. And the best way to describe it is often to use the mean, which is the average number. But sometimes we use other measures like the median. And the median is the middle value. So it's like if I put all your ages in rank order, I just take the middle value. Sometimes I'm interested in the mode, and the mode is the most common value. And the reason why sometimes we think of the median and the mode is that the mean is only a really sensible measure if you have a nice symmetric distribution. And I'll show you some pictures of that in a minute. And then we're really interested in measures of spread. And actually, as a statistician, I'm more interested in measures of spread than I am in measures of the average. Because what I'm talking about spread there is, okay, so on average you might be 22 years old, but actually your ages range from, say, 15 to 75. And that, to me, is really interesting, because I want to know who the 15-year-old is. And so I'm more interested often in spread than I am in the average. And there's lots of ways to measure spread. And one of them is the range, interquartile range, standard deviation, variance, etc.